Multiple Sclerosis Today. This is a dedicated audio channel inspired by the comprehensive book, Living with Multiple Sclerosis, a guide for patients, families, and caregivers. This podcast is designed for anyone touched by multiple sclerosis, patients, families, caregivers, and healthcare professionals, offering clear, compassionate, and actionable guidance for every stage of your MS journey. Now, here's your host of the Multiple Sclerosis Today podcast, Andres Ortiz.
Hey there, and welcome to Multiple Sclerosis Today. We're going to talk about how MS can affect our cognitive functions and what that means. You see, multiple sclerosis can make it challenging for people to do everyday things. And we're going to discover how cognitive functions work and what one can do who has MS to help their brain stay strong. You see, cognitive functions are the mental processes that enable individuals to perceive, understand, interact with the world. They involve abilities such as attention, memory, language, learning, perception, reasoning, and decision-making. These functions allow a person to receive, process, store, and retrieve information, facilitating day-to-day tasks and overall cognition. So the key cognitive functions include attention, focusing on relevant stimuli while filtering distractions, essential for learning and decision-making. Memory, encoding, storing, and recalling information, crucial for learning and adapting. Orientation, awareness of oneself and surroundings in terms of person, time, and space. Executive functions, higher order processing such as planning, problem solving, reasoning, decision making, and controlling impulses. Language processing, that enables you to understand and produce speech and communications. From a neurological perspective, these functions are largely supported by different brain areas such as the frontal lobe, parietal lobe, which is directly behind the frontal lobe, the occipital lobe, to name a few, and we're going to take a look at what each one of those do. So when we look at the frontal lobe, that's right behind your forehead, what does it do? Well, that lobe and that area of the brain helps with the thinking and decision making. It helps you plan, solve problems, and make good choices. It helps control feelings. It helps you manage your emotions and behave in a kind way. It also helps with the movement of your muscles. It helps you make your body move on purpose, like walking or writing. Okay? Talking, it helps you speak clearly to say the right words. Paying attention and memory, it helps you to focus and remember the things that you need to. And personality and emotion helps you to shape who you are and how you feel. The parietal lobe, which is at the top and back of your head, behind the frontal lobe. What it does, it controls and it helps you to feel things like pain and heat and pressure. Knowing where your body is helps you sense where your hands are, your arms, and your feet, even with your eyes closed. Right way. It helps with accurate body movement like catching a ball or throwing something. Reading, writing, and math, it helps you understand letters, numbers, and shapes. Using many senses together will help your brain put information from touch, sight, and hearing. The temporal lobe, well, that is found on the side of your brain, near your temples, the soft spots above your ears. This is the second largest part of the brain's outer layer. So what does the temporal lobe do? Well, that helps with hearing. Okay, so it helps you hear and understand different sounds like voices, music, and noises around you. The brain uses the temporal lobe to turn sounds into meaning. Understanding language. The left side of the temporal lobe helps you understand what people say and what you need to read. This makes it possible to know the meaning of the words and the sentences. making memories. It helps you turn short-term memories into long-term ones. This means that you can remember things for days, weeks, or even years. Recognizing faces and objects. The temporal lobe helps you to recognize people's faces and objects that you know. It also helps with processing emotion. It works over the other brain parts to help you feel and understand emotion like happiness or fear. Mixing what you see and what you hear, that helps combine the sounds and sights so that you can understand what you sense around you. The next area is the occipital lobe. Now, that's at the very back of your head, and what that does, it turns messages from your eyes into pictures in your brain. Understands what you see by helping you to know colors, shapes, and sizes. It helps by recognizing people and places. Helps you to know faces and things that you've seen before. Knows where things are. That helps your brain understand how far or how close something is. Cerebellum, that helps with the balance and movement. So what it does is it controls smooth movement and helps your arms and legs move steadily. It keeps you balanced by stopping you from falling over when you make a move. And it helps you learn new skills. It helps you get better at riding a bike or playing sports. And it keeps your eyes steady. It lets you see clearly even when your head is moving. It helps you with a bit of focus on your feelings. So now that we've identified the major parts of the brain and what the functions are, let's now take a look at how multiple sclerosis will affect the brain and its functions. From the frontal lobe perspective, what can happen? MS can cause damage to the frontal lobe, leading to problems with thinking, planning, decision making, memory, speech, and sometimes changes in personality or emotions. People may notice trouble moving or certain body parts are going to have trouble controlling their behavior or even changes in their mood. The common symptoms that MS and how it affects the frontal lobe is difficulty with concentration, slower thinking, poor judgment, weakness, and sometimes speech issues. Now, when we have the parietal lobe, what can happen there is that the lesions in the parietal lobe can interfere with sensation like touch or pain or temperature or pressure. It makes it hard to know the body position and it disrupts coordination. This lobe is also linked to reading, math, and writing abilities. The common symptoms are problems with balance, sensation, battle awareness, reading, and sometimes trouble with coordination and fatigue. Occipital lobe. Well, what can happen here, although less commonly affected compared to the frontal lobe and the parietal lobe, the occipital lobe can have MS lesions that cause vision problems. This may include trouble seeing, recognizing objects, even double vision. Symptoms: partial or complete loss of vision, blurry or double vision, and trouble processing visual information. What can happen is that MS affects the cerebellum, which controls your balance and smooth movements. Damage here can cause tremors, poor balance, shaky movement, trouble with motor skills. Symptoms are shaky hands, difficult walking, dizziness, trouble with balance, and sometimes trouble speaking clearly. We had someone give us a question that says, does MS affect all lobes at the same time? Not always, and not at once. MS does not have a set pattern and does not have to affect all of the lobes together. It can cause damage in one or two or more areas at a time, but depending on where the lesions, which are the damaged spots that appear on the brain. individual and progressive. The disease may start with one or two lobes, and over time, it can progress into evolve into others. But some people might only be affected with one or two areas for many years. This is unique for every person. So, since MS is different, your body chemistry is different. No two individuals with MS are going to have the exact same symptoms. They are not going to have the exact same cause and effect. Why? Because they're individuals and their body chemistry is different. So the key takeaways here is that MS can affect any, some, or all of the lobes. It is different for each person. Symptoms depend upon where the damage occurs, and it does not always affect everything all at once. MS can start in one area and stay there over a spread out period of time. So, what do we do and how do we combat something like that? When it comes to cognition and it comes to the MS, there are a few things that we can do. One of them is a program called cognitive rehabilitation. Now, cognitive rehabilitation, they're brain exercises. It's just like going to the gym to keep your body strong. Here, you're doing brain exercises to keep your mind strong. On thinking, remembering, and focusing a whole lot better. Now, there are different types of cognitive rehabilitation. You have restorative, which tries to fix or improve thinking skills. There's compensatory, which teaches us new ways to work around problems. So if one part of the brain isn't working correctly, or if one aspect of the brain is not working correctly, you can learn a new way to do something. Assessment. Well, when you look at cognitive rehabilitation and how it works, your doctor or therapist will check with what you need help with. Not everyone is going to have the same need. So they'll assist you in setting goals to choose what we want to improve, like memory, or do we want to improve in attention? Then they'll train you to do certain exercise, create some goals, and use things that are game-like and puzzles to make it interesting and to make it fun. And all you have to do is make sure that you're using these new skills and practice in real life. The doctor will do a check on how much you've improved since starting that program to train your brain. Computer-based programs, fun games, and computer or tablet to help you practice memory and attention. Levels can get harder as you go along to help you get better. Telecognitive rehabilitation. That's doing the brain exercises at home, not in an office or a clinic, guided by a therapist on a computer or phone. You don't need to travel. You don't need to go into the clinic. You can do it right from the comfort of your own home. Then there's virtual reality. Okay, we're wearing a special goggles and practice in a virtual world, great for practicing real life skills in a safe place. Mindfulness and meditation, one of my favorites. Focus on your breathing and being present in the moment. It helps reduce your tension and stress by focusing on your breathing and a form of meditation. And you'll realize that you'll be able to accomplish much more. Now, a combination of these approaches, whether it be computer-based learning or cognitive sessions, mindfulness and meditation, combined together, they can create a very powerful skill set for you to become better at. And this is something that you definitely want to speak to your therapist about the methods that you can use or the tools that you can use for the best results. One of the things that therapists and clinicians will tell you is that the principles of brain training, you either lose it or use it. So practice makes you better. Practice does make it better. Where do we hear that as children? Practice makes perfect. Well, in this case, it's pretty close to it. So you definitely want to take that advice. Targeted practice. Work on specific skills that you want to improve. Okay. If there's one skill is tough, then learn a new way to reach your goal. Use your new skills in everyday life, not just once a week or once a month when you go over it, but apply it to everything that you're doing. Plans are made just for you by your therapist and clinician, and practice regularly. Fun activities help you to keep it going, and that's really the most important thing. And in our final tips for the cognitive rehabilitation, it helps so many people with MS think better and live easier. New technology is making brain training fun and flexible. Talk to your doctor or your specialist if you want to try the cognitive rehabilitation. And remember, your brain is an amazing, amazing tool, and it can get stronger with practice, but you have to practice. Now, there is another method of assistance that was developed by the National Multiple Sclerosis Society called CogniFitness. And it is a program that has been very helpful to thousands of patients with multiple sclerosis at all levels. So, okay, what is CogniFitness? Well, CogniFitness is a special program for people with multiple sclerosis, and it is helping them find new ways to stay organized, pay attention, to solve problems, and to remember things a lot easier. So, who leads this program? Well, the program is led by a speech pathologist who are experts in helping people with thinking and memory skills. So, how does CogniFitness work? Well, the program usually lasts for 4 weeks. It happens once a week, and the classes are for people with MS, with problems with memory or thinking. And during these sessions, you'll learn different ways to make memory, attention, and problem solving easier. The group setting means that you can talk to others with MS and share tips and get support from people who understand what you're going through. So what skills will you practice? In CogniFitness, you will practice remembering things, staying focused, keeping things in order, and finding ways to fix problems, thinking carefully and making good decisions. So you see, CogniFitness gives you the tools and the tricks to make thinking and remembering easier and a lot more fun. Lower the frustration that comes from forgetting or feeling confused with others who have the same struggles, and find support. Practicing with these activities can make everyday life, school, and work a lot easier. So how do you get involved? Well, if you want to join the CogniFitness program, you can contact your local National Multiple Sclerosis chapter or your nearby MS center to find out when the next group starts. Remember, CogniFitness does not cure MS, but it helps you get stronger in your thinking, your memory, and your daily skills, making life with MS a lot easier every day. Thanks for joining us at Multiple Sclerosis Today. We hope this episode shed some light on how MS can impact the brain's cognitive function and highlight practical ways to keep your mind strong and resilient. Remember, every journey with MS is unique, and resources like the Cognitive Rehabilitation Program and CogniFitness are here to support you living well and staying connected. We appreciate your time and your curiosity and your strength. Be sure to reach out to your local MS community and take care of your mind and your body. Again, for other insights. Until next time, thank you for joining Multiple Sclerosis Today. Have a great day.
Did you know that MS can affect your thinking? Chapter 4 of Living with Multiple Sclerosis explains how. You'll learn about memory problems and attention issues and a whole bunch more.
Discover how these changes impact daily life and work. You'll also get informed about cognitive rehabilitation techniques that can really help. Remember, knowledge is power in managing your MS, so get your copy today at Amazon.com.